Hi, and welcome to episode 46 of M1 Yarns and the Michigan Makers Podcast. I'm your host, Jamie, the dyer behind m1yarns.com, coming to you today from Michigan, a beautiful fall day here. And if this is your first time here, welcome. This is a mostly knitting podcast where I talk about my whips and some yarn stuff and some other creative goodness, and we just chat. So I hope that you have a warm beverage like me and your project. So I thought I would talk today about something that I know that many knitters struggle with, and that's kind of balancing like when you get bored with a project and how you keep it from collecting dust in timeout, so to speak. I am generally mostly, I would like to call myself a monogamous knitter, but I know that that's not quite true. I would say my comfort zone is like 2 to 3 projects. That being said, I've really made some headway clearing out whips and getting them done and off the needles. And so now I feel like I'm recentering, focusing on what's outstanding. So we'll get to that in a minute because I really wanted to speak on some tips and tricks that I thought I would share with you in case you have some languishing whips that, you know, we always see podcasters with a big stack of whips saying, oh, let's all vote on what's going to get frogged, what's going to get put back in timeout, and what's going to get revived, so to speak. And I think there's both some physical and mental strategies that we can apply to our languishing whips. So that being said, instead of working on my whips, this week I actually cast on and finished a new project. But this was really quick. I mean, you could probably knit this all in like a long evening. So this came to my mind getting ready for Rhinebeck, thinking, oh, I might need some cozy fingerless mitts. I didn't get them done in time for Rhinebeck, but it's the end of October here in Michigan, and so I know that I'll get wear out of these soon. So I just finished these last night. These are the Triplicate Mitts. They are really fun and easy to knit. They're made out of super bulky yarn. I used Rowan, what's it called? Big Wool. Rowan Big Wool, which I had in my stash, which ironically was also the yarn that the designer designed with. And this is a free pattern on Ravelry. So I highly encourage you to check it out. It's nice because there's no fingers to do. There's a little bit of cabling, only, I mean, it looks like a lot, but it's a very small amount. If you've never done cabling, I recommend this. Look how cute it looks with the mug. This was a really good palette cleanser, and I felt like I needed it. And that's why I think having hats and mitts and maybe even cowls in your queue, something kind of mindless and quick, gives you that like re-boost of energy. And when I came back from Rhinebeck, I was looking at all my whips, wanting to cast on something new and feeling really kind of like down about my languishing whips, 2 of which I'm not that keen on, but I want to finish, and one I'm really excited about and I just want to focus on. Mentally, I just needed something to kind of revive the knitting. So these are done. These were easy. These were fun. Oh, my jewelry's snagging on the yarn. Oh, I just wanted to say this before I forget. I got lots of lovely feedback from the last episode, private messages and whatnot from folks who appreciated my comments on losing my friend to breast cancer. And so many of you have been touched by that. So I just wanted to take a moment and thank you all for sharing your friends and family and personal journeys with that. So it was good to kind of have a little bit of a serious discussion here, because I think while we all want to act like, oh, we're just happy knitting along and working on our projects, alongside that is also life. So, and I think that is part of my issue with my whips. So I really want to plow through my whips and clear off the slate before the new year. I really want to cast on something new, and there were a few episodes ago I proposed a few different pattern ideas with yarn options assigned to each, and you all voted, and the clear winner was the No Sweat shirt by Park & Knit in hold on, in this, which is my own hand dyed in the color Harvest. And I really want to cast it on. I haven't wound the yarn because I feel like if I wind the yarn, I'm going to cast on immediately. I need to finish one of my 3 whips before I cast that on to sit well in my head. So 2 of my 3 whips that I'm not so much like jazzed about. I'm not a big shawl knitter. And I have been working on my Birds of a Feather shawl on and off for months. This is a kit in my shop, and I think it's gorgeous. It's actually fun to knit, but I don't wear a lot of shawls, so I feel like I don't see a lot of purpose in this. I mean, and it just goes and goes and goes. The kit and the pattern consists of 1 ball of mohair and 2 balls of fingering weight, and I just feel like it's huge. So what I did to kind of wrap my brain, I have hair in my mouth, sorry guys. What I did to get disciplined so I can finish this sometime in the somewhat nearish future is commit to every night or every day, when I sit down to knit, I knit 2 rows on this, which takes about, realistically, let's say 15 minutes. So that's coming along. I am more than halfway done with this. I think it'll be gorgeous. It's a work of art. And then my other strategy for making progress on my whips is after I knit my 2 rows on the shawl, I knit 1 round on my Seaglass Tee. And I mean, we're making progress. I feel like it's all bunched up, so it's hard to see. Anyway, this was last year's Advent kit from my yarn shop, my yarn dyeing online shop. Speaking of Advent, this year I am currently preparing, meaning labeling and all that good stuff, this year's Advent, and I'm so excited about it. For those of you that ordered, a big thank you. I can't wait to see you open it. And if you did not order an Advent or countdown calendar or whatever you want to call it, let's call it a yarn goodie box. I don't know the last time I talked about this here, but my Yarn Addicts Anonymous subscription box is something you can sign up for quarter by quarter. And right now you would sign up by the beginning of December for delivery the beginning of January, and it consists of 3 skeins of yarn on a luxury base and all sorts of goodies. So if you didn't get an Advent kit and you want something that's gonna like brighten your January post-holiday days, check out my website for that, because that is my passion project. So after I get done with the Advents, I will turn my focus to the next quarterly box. The last couple have been really fun, and I've gotten great feedback on that from folks who have ordered that, so thank you. My third and final whip, which I am so geeked about, is it actually is using leftovers from this, which I didn't talk about what I was wearing. This is the 9 to 5 bodysuit. I won't show you the bottom of it because it's tucked into my pants. But this is the 9 to 5 bodysuit by Mesomakes. I loved knitting this. I love wearing bodysuits. I loved knitting this. I would knit this again. And in fact, I might just knit it again next year. I would love like a version with a strand of suri. Oh, wouldn't that be just so luxurious? All right, I digress. Anyway, I had like half skeins from each of these colors left over. And if you guys know me, if you've been around a minute, you know that I love a good scrappy project. So I put all my scrap balls together and I ordered I ordered one skein and I dyed one skein. And I'm making pants. These are the Ombre All Day Pants by Girly Knits. And they're going really fast. What can I say about it? It's like Sleeve Island, which I love. You know, it gets faster and faster as you're decreasing. And this is a mix of Life in the Long Grass and my own hand dyed. Fingering weight held doubled. And I cannot wait to wear these. So this is the front. And then this is the back, which has short rows for your bootay. And now I'm kind of at the point where I'm really picking up speed on the leg. So I feel like by next episode, I should have a whole leg done and be back working on the second leg. The, what do we call this? The crotch butt region actually did not take that long. I really, really am loving this. So after I do my one round on the Seaglass Tee and 2 rows on my Birds of a Feather, then I've been knitting on this, like, just for enjoyment, and at whatever pace I want. I love this. I am so all about knit pants now. The thing that I wanted to mention is that the M1 Steek Along is still running through the end of the year. And so you do have time to cast on and or finish your steeked cardigan or coffee cozy. And now that I have steeked my first cardigan, I am totally knee-deep in planning for my next one. And in the last episode, I showed you the contrast color that I selected at Rhinebeck for my Spark cardigan by Andrea Mowry. I'm really geeked for this. So at Primrose Yarn Co., I found, I just caked it up. It looks different, but what was I going to say? I found this for the contrast color. This is their Homestead Sport in the colorway Fig. And then I decided to pair it. I know last episode I had some ideas on what I would pair it with, but I decided that my Silver Fox colorway, this is my worsted weight base called Middle of the Road, would be just such a nice neutral and light enough where I'm gonna get a high contrast situation for the color work on it. So if you look at like that detail, I just think that'll look really great. And I don't really have anything in my wardrobe with this silvery kind of gray, like just such a really light. I have a couple darker gray things. So I'm geeked. So I'm ready to do that, but like I said, since I need to clear out some projects, I don't think I'll be casting this on until probably around Christmas. The other thing I was going to mention, last time I had showed you yarn that I bought at Rhinebeck to knit the Classic by Espace Tricot. I'll insert a photo here. And I got a lot of messages from you guys that you've wanted to knit that sweater as well for a long time. And so I was thinking that after the Steek Along ends at the end of the year, maybe for the new year, we could have a knit along for the Classic. So let me know what you think about that. I think it would be really fun to see each other's classics work up and that we all knit the same sweater. It is worsted weight. Is it worsted weight? It's either worsted or Aran. So either way, it'll go pretty fast. So that's a good thing. So anyway, the last thing I wanted to say is, if you are in the Metro Detroit area, next Saturday, I have it on my Instagram. I have fuzz in my mouth. I'm coordinating a little sip and stitch get together at a coffee shop in Royal Oak. So if you are in Southeast Michigan, I welcome you to join us. Head over to my Instagram for all the details, location, time, and date, because I'm drawing a blank. But it's always a good time. It's a group of lovely humans who just come together with their yarn, whether it's knitting or crocheting, and it's just nice to bond over some common ground. Anyway, thanks for joining me here for another quick episode this week, and let me know what you're knitting on, and I'll talk to you later.